How's it going, everyone? We are coming up on the month of September, and the game releases are really going to start heating up next month. A couple big titles coming, and that should continue and persist through the rest of the year. September's bringing with it a lot of marquee games, but also some lower key titles I think you guys should keep your eyes on. And in this video, I want to take a look at the top 10 upcoming PlayStation 5 games that are dropping next month. These games might be on PS4, but all of them have a version made for the PlayStation 5, so bear that in mind. We'll do another video taking a look at all the other games. So with that being said, let's get right into it, and I want to start things off with Deathloop. This is a game coming to PC and PS5, and eventually it will be coming to Xbox Series as well. Sony worked out a timed exclusivity deal, and this is a game coming from Arcane Studios. Arcane is a studio that I have a lot of respect for. Obviously, they've done the excellent Dishonored games. They've done Prey, which was a fantastic game as well. Deathloop has the player in the role of Colt, an assassin who is stuck in a time loop, waking up on a beach at the island of Blackreef. The other residents of Blackreef, a former army base where strange experiments had once been held, have invested in the island and have gathered for this night to hold a party that seemingly lasts forever, as at the end of each night the island resets to the start of the party in the time loop. So you guys can understand why the game is called Deathloop. The game, in my personal opinion, like, I would have loved to see a Dishonored 3, don't get me wrong, and that's what I would have ideally liked to see out of Arcane, but them doing a new IP could be something that's exciting as well. In Deathloop 2, rival assassins are trapped in the mysterious time loop on the island of Blackreef, doomed to repeat the same day for eternity. So we'll see how this game turns out. Hopefully, as a brand new IP, it does turn out pretty good. The gameplay itself looks very fast-paced, and it looks like there's a lot of different mechanics you do have to assess for, so we'll see how that turns out. Again, September 14th is the release date for that. Next up, we have a game that I am personally incredibly excited for, and I think every JRPG fan is, and if you haven't played the demo, you should definitely play the demo for Tales of Arise, because it's fantastic, and this is the game that I've been talking about that I really hope is going to take the Tales of franchise to the next level. The Tales of franchise, much like the Ys series, has been a very consistent JRPG series, but it hasn't really hit that next level to be at the upper echelon of JRPGs, like a Final Fantasy, a Persona, but I feel like Tales of Arise can be that game that really elevates it to the next level, because it's getting a facelift from a visual standpoint, a gameplay standpoint, and I think that's going to be something that draws a lot of new people in. And again, we do have the demo available, so if you've never played a Tales of game, go ahead and play the Tales of Arise demo, because I think it's going to be something that does win you over. And seemingly, from what I've been looking at in the comments section on Twitter, social media, a lot of people are getting sold on this game by playing the demo. The demo is a free download on the PlayStation Store. Give it a download, try it out, and I'm sure you're going to get pretty excited about the game. And as Tales of Arise is, it's a standalone experience. You don't have to have knowledge of the prior Tales of games. That's generally the case with the majority of the Tales of games. Some of them are linked together, but Tales of Arise is its own standalone experience, so definitely get excited for this one. This one will be out on September the 10th, a Friday. Next up, we have Origami II, which Origami was a game that didn't get a lot of buzz a few years ago, but it turned out to be a pretty decent game. And Origami II is a third-person stealth game where you play as an assassin with the power to control the shadows, join the Shadow Clan, and fight the invader armies to protect your people. Visually, the game isn't anything to write home about, but you do have a full campaign, and you can join the assassin squad up to 3 players in co-op, manage covers and powers with agility, take down your enemies with stealth kills and non-lethal takedowns, become the master of a skill-based combat with high risk and high reward. This one is due out on September the 17th. Next up, here's another game a lot of people are excited about, and that is the follow-up to Judgement and Lost Judgment. Now, interesting story attached to this one. This might unfortunately be the final game in the Judgement series, because of some licensing issues with the actor in the game. Hopefully they can figure out a solution to that, but Lost Judgment looks really good, and it looks to be a quality follow-up to Judgment. Now that Yakuza has kind of fallen into that turn-based system, and I think they're going to continue with that after Yakuza 7, which is fine. That version works. Judgment is kind of adopting that role of being that traditional Yakuza experience, but in this game, expect a game with a ton of mystery, a ton of suspense, a great combat, and a variety of gameplay as well. If you haven't played the original Judgment, I would highly recommend you to go back and play that. It's available on the PlayStation 5 now as well, upgraded. And Lost Judgment should be a great time. This one is dropping on September the 24th. Next up, we have Ghostrunner, which is seeing its PlayStation 5 release. This is incredibly exciting because this was a game that came out on PC, PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch even, last year, and now it's getting its PlayStation 5 upgraded release, and this is a slick single-player experience, fast-paced, violent combat, an original setting that blends science fiction with post-apocalyptic themes. It tells the story of a world that has already ended and its inhabitants who fight to survive. The game got a very positive reception on Steam, 91% positive on that end, and 81 on Metacritic, so a super positive reception. And now it's seeing its release on PlayStation 5, and I feel like it's going to be received very, very well. This one is out on September 28th. Next up, we have Death Stranding, the Director's Cut, which is also an upgraded version for the PlayStation 5. Death Stranding was one of those games that was a bit controversial back when it came out in 2019. I really enjoyed it, and I always felt like this was a game that everybody should give a chance to. It's not going to be for everyone, but what I liked about this game is you need games like this that are trying things, that are pushing the envelope a bit. And that's how gaming as a whole is going to evolve. I know some people have their complaints that it's UPS or Mailman Simulator or whatever, but I thought the gameplay was really good. I thought some of the visuals and setting was so well done. Obviously, the presentation in this game is top-notch. Voice acting is excellent. And guess what? I'm a Norman Reedus fanboy, so obviously I was going to have a biased opinion towards this game from the get-go. Daryl is my guy in Walking Dead. But now we're seeing Death Stranding getting an upgraded version. And this version, if you already own the original game, it will be a $10 upgrade, but you do get a bunch of additional content, and it's upgraded for PS5, so that's going to be quite nice to see. Death Stranding, the Director's Cut, is due out on September the 24th. Next up, we have Austria Ascending. September 30th is when this one's going to drop, and if you are a fan of Japanese RPGs, this one should be at the top of your list, because this is really a throwback to a lot of classic JRPGs. The visual style to this is going to be something that hits home with a lot of people. It's got a great look going on for it, and looks like the combat system is going to be something akin to a lot of classic JRPGs. It's got a hand-drawn art style, looks to have a great soundtrack as well, and I think this is going to be one that a lot of people enjoy. Again, if you're a fan of JRPGs, definitely have this one on your radar, and it's going to be something that I think is going to appeal a lot of people when it comes out on September the 30th, so be on the lookout for that as well. Next up, another game that's a little under the radar, F.I.S.T. Forged in Shadow Torch, is dropping on September the 7th. F.I.S.T. Forged in Shadow Torch is a Metroidvania action game featuring exploration, intense combat, and challenging platforming. Now, this is described as a diesel punk game. The combining of the diesel punk aesthetics and the oriental style architecture constructs the core visual style of Torch City, exposing the world with the intense conflict between the furry animals and the mechanical army from their appearance to the nature. Powered by Unreal Engine 4 with physically based rendering and extremely detailed textures, presenting a gorgeous 3D visual performance and pushing the genre to a whole new level. Visually, the game looks pretty good. I know Metroidvania games aren't necessarily known to be technically outstanding, but this one looks pretty good, has some great particle effects as well. Gameplay looks fast, it looks fluid, and it looks like a lot of fun. Again, September 7th is when F.I.S.T. Forged in Shadow Torch is gonna be dropping. Next up, an Xbox console exclusive makes its way to the PlayStation 5. The Medium will be dropping. The Medium is a very interesting game that has some horror elements, it has some puzzle elements, and it has a very unique presentation style where you have these two different sections, and you have unique psychic abilities, and you have dual reality puzzles, survive encounters with sinister spells, and explore two realities at the same time. I played this game on PC, and I really enjoyed it. It was available through Xbox Game Pass, so that was quite nice, but the game itself is a pretty good horror title if you're into that genre. It got a lot of great reviews. IGN 8 out of 10, PC Gamer gave it a 9.2, Game Reactor 9 out of 10, so some very, very positive reviews, 88% positive on Steam as well, so that's pretty good. Maybe this isn't one you want to pick up day one and right away, but I think eventually it's going to be a worthwhile pickup. It does drop on September the 3rd, so this one's right around the corner. And lastly, I want to give a mention to Away the Survival series. This one has you play as a tiny sugar glider in your very own nature documentary, glide among the trees, fight dangerous predators, and explore beautiful environments as you embark on a high-flying journey to save your family. This game does have more of an emphasis on its exploration, and it's an interesting game, you know, when you drop someone in the midst of deep into nature, and you kind of just have to fend off whatever you can. Looks to be an atmospheric game, and it looks like something that is going to immerse you into this world. At least that's what it should be going for. Away the Survivor series is due out for a release on September the 28th. Let's hope this is something that surprises a lot of people, because it's not getting a lot of buzz right now, like a lot of these games on this list. But as September is going to be a pretty competitive month for consumers' dollar, a game like this does need to surprise to really gain some traction. But that's going to wrap up this one. Again, a lot of great PS5 games coming next month. Tales of Arise at the top of my list. Deathloop is going to be something I know a lot of people are looking forward to. Lost Judgment, Ghostrunner getting an upgrade, Stranding getting an upgrade with the director's cut, Austria Ascending looks fantastic. Just a solid month of new releases next month. But that's going to wrap up this one. Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.